Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Balachandar, or Bala as we fondly call him.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to start by saying that the Honorable Minister, Mr. Deshpande, Minister for Commerce and Industry, was supposed to be here with us right now. I had to rush to the doctor for a small treatment. He was admitted last night and he's not been able to make it this morning. He's still trying to come here. Very brave of him to do that. We'll see if he joins us, he'll give us a 10-minute address. Otherwise, the show is on and we'll continue. A very warm welcome to all of you. My privilege and honor to host this conference, the 20th National NHRD Conference. And as Bangalore's signature event, we also jointly today present to you and tomorrow the 5th NHRD HR Showcase. I'd like to now welcome Professor Ramcharan, who is here with us. He's come all the way from the US. Thank you, sir, so much for being here with us. Dr. T.V. Rao, he's here with us as well, founder of NHRD movement and father of NHRD. So welcome, sir. We have Nathan, our National Secretary. Nathan is here. We are missing Ram Kumar. Ram had to rush for a client meeting to the US. So Ram has sent us a video of his address, and we will play that a little later in the day, later in this session. Also, I'd like to welcome all our board members. There are several of them here. I'm not going to take each one name, but all our board members, all the executive council members who've been behind me in presenting to you this conference. They've been toiling for the last 120 days. We just got 120 days to do this, yeah. So we've been working very hard. My entire team is here, and you will get to see each one of them as we go. To the whole host of speakers, the conference is never full without our very distinguished speakers, and we have several of them, and you will be hearing them today and tomorrow. Delegates, yeah, the room is slowly getting filled up because I understand there's been a delay in issuing passes at the gate, and people are all stuck inside the showcase. We're trying to wean them away from the showcase and get them here, and soon I'm sure the hall will be full. No NHRD program in Bangalore happens without a house full hall, so sure they'll all be here. Our partners, we've had in the last 4 months a very rough ride, I must admit, in terms of our ability to generate the financial support that's required for a conference like this. I'm very glad at the end of the 4 months period, I'm very, very glad to say that our partners have supported us tremendously. Several sponsors came on board, and they're all here. Welcome to our sponsors and our partners. There are people from the press and media. A big thank you for being here, and welcome for this morning event. It gave me great pleasure to welcome you all and maybe set the context a little bit around this conference. When we started thinking about the design of this conference 4 months back, we kept on asking ourselves, and in fact many of my colleagues said, hey, we are debating this too much, because the debate was around what is it that will make impact, and why would someone, a colleague of ours, spend 2 days with us, right? Why would the customer be there, and what is it that we offer the customer? So we kept thinking about it. Everywhere around us, every other conference for last many years keeps talking about war for talent, employee engagement. Several of these, we've been there, all of us have been there, we've heard many of that. Fortunately for us in Bangalore, the inspiration came from Karnataka and Bangalore, right? Hotbed for startups. And when we were talking to young HR leaders who are part of the executive council as well as part of the chapter membership, they said, sir, we keep hearing so much about all these large companies and great practices, but there is this ecosystem of startups in this country, and especially in Bangalore, and we should recognize that. Yeah? And there was another set of people, gray head like me, said, no, large companies, they are learning to dance, and we have to figure out how these large companies are learning to dance. And we picked some examples like Amazon and GE and Infosys, and said, how do we learn from these guys, what is it that they do different? So like this, the debate went on. We landed up having a focus group session, and finally we came up with this whole tagline, and I must thank PM Kumar and my entire design team of Rajgopal Raghavan, Siddharth, Pallavi, and several others who joined us. Krish from Infi joined us for several meetings. So we came up finally with this liner called Spirit of Entrepreneurship. And then we had to defend that, right? Once you have a topic, everyone interprets it in their own way. So are we going to teach entrepreneurship? Are we going to have VCs there? Are VCs going to address the gathering? All those questions. Is it about business? All of those questions. Then we started emphasizing on the word spirit, right? The whole conference being an HR conference, we said, let's emphasize on the word spirit. So then we spent a whole day, and thanks to technology of partnership for a group of people who facilitated the entire executive council, a one-day program on discovering what the spirit of entrepreneurship is all about. We said the spirit of entrepreneurship, let's look around the entrepreneurs in Bangalore. Let's look at around the country. Let's look around the world. What do these entrepreneurs come with? Right? They come with a very, very strong sense of purpose. Right? If you notice them very closely, and if you work very closely, like how I work with Siddharth, our chairman at Coffee Day, very, very, very strong sense of purpose. The second thing that I observe and the focus group came up with was a sense of agility. They're constantly on the move, And then we explored further, they're very, very resourceful, right? And one thing that I realized today, after putting this conference together over the last 4 months, I think the entire executive council has been extremely resourceful in a very, very tough environment, right? So that's something unique that comes up in terms of the spirit of the entrepreneurship, of the entrepreneur. Then we looked around more and dig deep. Then we said they get things done, right? Entrepreneurs get things done. They are itching to get things done. So like this, we started putting together the spirit of entrepreneurship and said, why don't we manifest these behaviors, right? And then in my own head, I was always a little confused about this word called employee engagement. And we had Vineet yesterday at our HR conclave. Yesterday we had a pre-conference conclave, and he started by saying, hey, employee engagement is all bunkum. How can you measure my engagement 24/7, 365 days, and tell whether I'm engaged or not engaged, right? So I think personally, employee engagement is passé. The spirit of entrepreneurship is here to stay. And when you look at India as a country, when you look at Karnataka as a state, and the whole conference, how we put it together, I think the spirit of entrepreneurship, as I said, a sense of purpose, agility, resourcefulness, getting things done, I think these are behaviors every business leader is asking of us today. Every entrepreneur is asking of the same of the HR community today. How do we drive these behaviors across our companies where we work? How do we manifest these behaviors at work? And that is the spirit of entrepreneurship. And a country like India is driven by enterprise. And then we got another insight. The other insight is about 70% of the companies around the world are privately held or entrepreneur-led or family businesses, right? So when you look at those companies, how they've transformed themselves from being a family-run company into a professional firm, employing professionals to lead, they expect the same level of passion and energy that the entrepreneurs of family businesses came with, the family members came with. So last night we had a fireside chat, PM Kumar hosted it, and it was so apparent to see 3 generations of families being there and talking to us about how they have perpetuated the Ayurveda as a business in India. So I'm very convinced, and I want to take a very strong position here today to talk about the spirit of entrepreneurship, and that's what we are focusing on, and hope our speakers, we've briefed them all, and they're all very excited about this new difference. The methodology of the conference itself is very, very different. I don't want to steal the thunder from Raj Raghavan, who's going to be talking to you about the design of the conference a little later. But suffice to say that you're going to have interesting, very energizing, very engaging, and very inspiring, you know. So when this team took over about a year and a half back, the executive council, the current executive council, we came up with engage, contribute, inspire. So everything that we do, we want to ensure that we are contributing to your learning, and we want to ensure that it's very inspiring. Hope you get to sense that over the next 2 days. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot. And every one of you here, welcome to this conference, each one of you. Very, very pleased to invite each one of you here. And it's not a conference which is very, very perfect. I also want to admit, like most entrepreneurial ventures, we are finding our way. And like how we found our way this morning to distribute the tags to you. And I'm also realizing as I get older, the world is not perfect. There are imperfections. The minister is not here. Life goes on. Yeah, there are imperfections to admit. But the team, 200 volunteers are behind the show. Let me assure you, each one of them have given their full time over the last 4 months in spite of having a day job at work. All of us are volunteers here. So they've done their best. Wish to personally thank each one of them, and you'll get to see them around the next 2 days. And it's also a conference with a difference because it's a conference of 1 week, 4 days of pre-conference, yesterday multiple sectoral conferences, and today and tomorrow the showcase and conference. So welcome you all once again, and thanks for being here, and have a great learning days next 2 days. Thank you.